Well, hello again, do-it-yourselfers. I'm Terry Peterman, the Internet Electrician, and welcome to another one of my video shorts on current topics at electrical-online.com, and again, right here on YouTube. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to perform a very delicate surgical procedure. Now, I'd say it's going a little bit out of what you would call my comfort zone, but the other day I watched a video on YouTube, and I think I know how I can get this job done. Now, it shouldn't be that hard. I've got the tools I need. I've got a utility knife. I didn't have a scalpel, but I got all the PPE going here. And I mean, I may not do it exactly right, but hey, the end result is getting this diseased organ out of this person's sick body. So let's just get started. Okay, so I hooked you in with a bit of misleading information. I am going to perform a surgery on this video, but rest assured it's not going to be on a human body. By request from one of my faithful YouTube subscribers, I'm going to surgically remove that metal device box that's nailed onto the stud in behind that drywall. We're going to remove it and replace it with a 2-gang box. But there is a method to my misleading opening that I wanted to discuss here just for a moment. I really hope that you wouldn't click on a video that's made by an electrician to learn anything medical, and especially something so specialized as a surgical procedure. But I am seeing a bit of a disturbing trend on YouTube by some well-intentioned but untrained people who are teaching electrical work. Simple things sometimes, from simple replacements to adding circuits and lighting and even wiring basements. So when I started in the area of do-it-yourself electrical assistance, my objective was to pass on my skills and knowledge to people who were inclined to do their own stuff themselves anyway, and to help them do it safely and correctly. Now, I did get quite a bit of grief over the years from other electricians who question why you would teach people this and take money out of your own pocket and food off your table. But my answer has always been that I'm not doing anything illegal or immoral. People are doing it themselves anyway, so why not teach them how to do it right and do it safely and do it competently? So to watch a video from someone who has extensive skills and knowledge teach you something is one thing. But then to go ahead and make a video yourself and teach others to do it, that's quite another. So I think you know where I'm going with this. I'm not worried about competition. There's plenty of room on YouTube for creators to put out good content. But I just say that when you're gonna do a YouTube video, try to pick something that you can be reasonably considered an expert at, and then go ahead and teach that. But stay away from maybe electrical work if you're not trained, because there are ramifications to doing something wrong in electrical work, and that can result in property damage, injury, and even death. So this is a trend that's likely to continue, but all I'm asking is that you, when you're looking for electrical information, try to get it from an electrician such as myself or one of my fellow YouTubers that are providing that kind of information. Anyway, enough of that lecture, and on to some tips for removing this box here without causing too much cosmetic damage. And one good example of why you might want to do this is if you were going to steal power from a receptacle outlet and you wanted to add a switch to that and then maybe fish up to some new lighting, be it under cabinet lighting or wall lights or whatever the case may be. So without further ado, let's get started on the real surgical procedure here. Okay, so as always, practice what you preach, Terry. First thing, safety. Make sure that the power's off. So we're going to check these wires. We're going to go hot to neutral. Oh, and looking, we do have 119 volts on here. So check again just to make sure. Hot to ground, 119 volts. Let's go to the panel and shut this circuit off. All right, checking again. Hot to ground, 0. And hot to neutral, 0. So we can be assured that this circuit is off now. Let's get started with trying to remove that box. So the first thing you want to find out is how is this box fastened to that stud. So if there's enough drywall away here, you can use a flashlight and peek in, and you can see, in this case I've used a 2.5-inch wood screw that's going all the way through the box into the stud, through the ears on the box. That could be a nail. Back in the day when I started as an apprentice, we almost always nailed these metal boxes on. Screws are probably better, but a little harder to pry off in this case. So I've used a screw. We're going to show you how to pry this box off. Another thing you could do if you were adding a switch in this case is if you didn't want to take that box off, you could just cut yourself in a old work box that clamp into the drywall, leave it over far enough that you're going to have room for both your plates to meet side by side. So cut in your new old work box here and then fish a wire over to this box to grab your power from. But in this case, we're going to show you how to remove this one and replace it with a similar, actually a same line of Iberville boxes. This is the 2104 LLE2 as opposed to the LLE single gang here. So we're going to pry this one out and replace it with this one, an old or new work box, I should say. So now that we've marked it, as far as we're going to need to take the drywall away, we can cut this out and then work on prying that box off. All right, so to cut away this drywall, you could use a utility knife, you could use a keyhole saw, but best tool ever is an oscillating tool. This one's from Ryobi with the drywall blade attached. Let's just show you how quick and easy you can do it with a tool like this. And just like that. Made your box opening a little bigger, you can notch out a little bit. And you can also use your utility knife just to make those tab holes a little bigger. We can fine tune that after, but now we're going to just show you how you would pry that box away. Now you could use a large standard screwdriver, not the proper tool for the job, however. This is a little pry bar I have here. And you just want to pry that box away from the stud. Close to the edge where the box is stronger is better. Got to get some space pried away there. And there, got your box off. Be able to work that box out through your opening now. Now you can loosen your cable clamp, pull that wire out, that cable out, and feed it into your new box. So you can actually remove that clamp completely just to help you pull the cable out of the old box. Now remove the appropriate knockout in the new box. And this is where you would now feed in your other cable that is going to go to perhaps your light or whatever else you're feeding out of this box that you wanted to extend to a 2-gang. And here's a tip. So when you're going to put that back in, make sure you use the bottom holes or the top holes, whatever you have access to in the box, because when you're going to try to push this box back in, if you've got cables entering both in the top there and the bottom, you're going to have trouble pushing it back through that hole without busting up the drywall. So try to get all your cable entrances in one top or bottom, one or the other. Now before you get your cables put into the new box, you want to test fit, make sure you do all your trimming necessary to make that box fit. And you see you're also going to have to bend in these tabs that are meant to grab onto the stud face and give you your proper spacing for 1/2-inch drywall. You got to bend them out of the way now because they're going to be going in behind the drywall. You don't have the luxury of nailing that box on without the drywall in place. So pound those flat. And then you could put this box in either this way or this way with the tabs. Those nail-in tabs now removed. Like I said, the first thing is to make sure you've got it fitting so you can do some trimming to make sure that that's going to go nicely into the hole, instead of do that before you put the cables in, so you're not fighting with the cables while you're trying to get the proper hole size cut out. Okay, so with your cables installed into the box and the clamps tightened down, now you can slip your box into the hole. Line it up flush with the drywall, and then run a couple wood screws in through the side of the box here to fasten it into place. All right, so if you had enough room, you could slip a screw in here and get into the tab against the stud on the outside of the box, but if you don't have a lot of room, it's okay to go ahead and use the box, the holes, screw holes that are inside the box. Get on the best angle you can here. There's 3 holes inside this box, screw holes. And you want to line it up so it's nice and flush with the drywall. It's 2, and 1 in the middle for 3. All right, that box is good and solid in there. It's flush with the drywall. And you're ready to make your splices. However you want to do this, this is your power in, so you'd go to a receptacle, pigtail off of that, and pigtail power over, splice your neutrals together if you were running out to another light. But that's for another video. This was just to show you how to pry that old box off and replace it with a 2-gang box. Well, thanks for watching. Sorry to disappoint you if you were looking for some medical surgical procedure, but maybe talk to your doctor about that. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel, and click on that notification bell, and that way you'll be sure to know when I release a new video. Thanks again for watching. I'm Terry Peterman, the Internet Electrician. Not surgeon, electrician.